Hey, what's going on, guys? Demboyz back here with another episode of Demboyz Tech, and today this is my PS5 setup. Now in this PS5 setup video, I'm going to go over my PS5 setup, and during these times, this is where I spend most of my days. Now this setup is always a work in progress, and I don't think I'm ever going to be happy with it, but eventually I want to move it downstairs into the basement when we get the basement done. But for right now, it's in our bonus room upstairs, and that is my temporary man cave for now. I've spent the better part of half a year getting this set up to a point where I'm happy. So basically, since we moved into the new house, I've been tinkering with this setup. So let's get into it. Now the TV is the main part and heart of any entertainment area setup. It's where you watch TV, watch movies, game, and just relax. Now I've built an entertainment area around this TV. And this TV is the NU Samsung 7 Series TV 58-inch. It's a bit of an older TV, but it gets the job done. It is only capable of 4K 60, but for right now, that's all I need. As most launch title games for the next gen can't output 4K 120 yet, only a select few games. In the future, when developers can really take advantage of the new next gen hardware, I'll look at upgrading the TV. The focus has and always will be on the TV, and then you build around that. Now I've hung up the TV and hidden the wires. The wall mount and recessed cable plates I've all gotten off Amazon, as well as I put some lights behind the TV, but I'll go over those separately, along with the Hue lights I have. Wall mounting and hiding the wires just makes the TV look sleek and super clean. Now the wall mount that I went for is an articulating wall mount that is actually capable of being pulled out, swiveled from left to right, and it's rated at holding 165 pounds, which is great because it future-proofs me if I want to upgrade to a bigger TV. Because as I said, this is a 58-inch TV, but if I want to go up to 65, 70, 80, even 90 inches, I'm able to do that knowing that this wall mount can support it. Now the soundbar is the Samsung HW-T400 soundbar that I got off Amazon during a Black Friday deal. It's just a small little soundbar capable of doing some pretty good sound for the price. The sound from the TV is not that great, so I wanted to get a soundbar that spreads the sound across the room rather than bounce it off back from the TV to the wall, which makes it sound a bit muffled. Now my TV is not capable of Bluetooth connection, so I had to connect the soundbar through an audio optical cable, which actually works out because the soundbar is connected directly to the TV. So no matter which video output I use, the sound is coming from the soundbar. And when I turn on my TV, the soundbar automatically turns on. I bought this soundbar basically for the launch of the new consoles because I really wanted to experience good sound coming along with the new next-gen consoles. As I said, the sound quality from the TV is okay, but it is 10 times better coming from the soundbar. Now the soundbar has two modes, which is surround and standard. And you can adjust the bass level, but that's about it. One cool feature is it has a quick Bluetooth connection via Bluetooth devices, but in my case the Samsung phone, I'm not sure if it works this quick with other phones, but if I want to connect my phone, I just hold it up or place it down on the soundbar and it connects quick and automatically, and then I can just cast media from my phone. The sound coming from the soundbar fills the room pretty nice, but then again, I'm in a medium-sized room and 4 walls around me, so it is bouncing the sound around the room, and I would be curious to see how it holds up in our downstairs living room where we have high ceilings and it's a bit more spacious. Now I've gone over my Hue lights before in my Besta console setup video, but a new addition to my entertainment setup is the Govee light strips I bought. These I bought on a whim during Black Friday, and I've just got to say I'm really impressed with the purchase. The app itself for the Govee ecosystem is high quality, but the features like gradient strip sections, being able to change each section to a different color is awesome. But it also includes things that you would expect in a premium smart light ecosystem like Hue that comes right out of the box for Govee. For example, light and music sync is included with the light strips, and there's no need for any extra peripheral. So what that means is I could be watching a movie or be playing a game, and the app will take in the surrounding sounds and it will affect the lighting and the light strips. So right here I'm playing Spider-Man, and as you can see the sounds are affecting the light strips and it's reacting to the sounds.
Voicemail.
The same can be seen here while I'm watching Avengers. You also have things like scenes, and I'm surprised at a price point this low that the app comes jam-packed full of scenes and features like this. Now the Hue Lights have recently released their new desktop app where you can sync lights to react to the sounds playing off your desktop or music. But in order for it to react to something on your TV through a video HDMI output, you do need their Hue HDMI sync box, which will set you back around $300 as opposed to having it built into the app like Govee does. I didn't want to go overboard with RGB lighting, but I've got to say watching media and playing games with RGB lighting really adds to the sense of immersion for me and kind of eases me into what I'm watching or playing. Now we come to the bread and butter of the video, the main part of my entertainment setup. I've had the PS5 for a little over a month now, and I've got to say I've been using my PS5 almost daily. I've sold my PS4 closer to the end of the last gen cycle, so I missed a lot of games that came out near the end, like Last of Us Part 2, Ghost of Tsushima, and I'm kind of glad that I did because playing the last gen titles on the PS5 is, I think, what the developers intended the game to be played like. With the increase in resolution as well as the high frame rates, taking advantage of the new PS5 hardware. For instance, Ghost of Tsushima on the PS4 Pro, it was running at 30-ish frames per second while having upscaled 4K resolution, whereas in the PS5 it's running at 60 frames locked and a native 4K resolution. I find that I'm just rediscovering last gen PS4 titles since I sold my PS4 a while ago, so I didn't get to experience the tail end of that generation and the games that came along with it. DualSense controller is where it really gets into next gen gear. When I first heard about this controller, I was kind of skeptical at first, and when you play it and the game is specifically tailored to take advantage of the DualSense functionality, this really does feel like next gen. The sound combined with the DualSense controllers will really pull you into the game and make it feel like you were there. You can see here the triggers have a sense of give and sense of restraint depending on what you're doing or firing in the game. So here I'm firing a machine gun like cannon, and it's giving me resistance as I pull down further. You really have to feel it for yourself to see what I'm talking about, just like here in Astro's Playroom. Astro's Playroom really takes advantage of the DualSense, but then again, this is a first-party PlayStation game, and it'll be interesting to see in the future if third-party games take advantage of this tool and the tool sets in this controller and its capabilities. The only other game I know is Call of Duty Cold War, where each gun has a different resistance depending on which gun you are using. Now, Miles Morales was one of the first launch titles I got when I bought the PS5, and there are a couple modes on here that's interesting. There's performance mode and fidelity mode. Performance mode has a higher frame rate, but it turns off effects like ray tracing. Fidelity mode has the opposite, where it turns the graphical settings to high, and you have things like ray tracing enabled, but frame rate drops to 30 frames per second. They recently released a performance and RTX mode combined. With that update, it takes away the density of the crowds, but you have high frame rate as well as ray tracing, and that's the mode I play in. Now, Monster Hunter was one of the games I used to play all the time on PS4, and here it's even better. There is actually a list on Reddit that lists the games that are optimized and actually take advantage of the new PS5 hardware. Whether it's 1080 at 60 frames or even 4K at 60 frames, Monster Hunter actually comes in with a resolution mode at 60 frames per second and 4K. I'm actually going to go back to the list and just look at the games that I hadn't played but have the new frame rates and new resolution modes. Now, everything is pulled together through this IKEA Besta unit. I made a video where I'm assembled and gone over exactly what goes into the Besta console unit, but there are a few changes, as you can see, since I did that video to now. As you can see, it's pretty much the same, except I've added a center glass door that you can press to push open. This completely hides the wiring and is a much cleaner look now. Originally in the middle I had shelving, but I wanted to hide my router, so I put my router there and then the glass door, and it just cleans everything up. I'm hoping to add an end piece to the left side of the Besta unit to cover the cable boxes on the left. But at the time of writing this video, it's still sold out on IKEA, and I'll be sure to make an updated video when I do get that addition to the IKEA Besta unit. So that was it, guys. That's my PS5 setup as of 2021. Again, I'm going to be working on this setup for a while, but if you guys like this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and share, and hit that bell notification for updates. We out.